And welcome back, everyone. From Noble Chief, we have who would win a fight? The Council of Reeds versus the Council of Ricks. The smartest men in their respective continuity universes. By the way, I saw that little tease. Rick and Morty moved back to 2005 or 2025. So I'm happy about that. But more importantly, who would win? Who's smarter? Who's more capable? Now, the Council of Reeds is kind of it's weird because they're like almost like law. It's not like every read, but as many reads as you can kind of like put in one room. Like there's at least 100 members of the Council of Reeds. And they each even have an Infinity Gauntlet of their own. The problem is the Infinity Gauntlets don't work outside of their respective universes in the Marvel comics. So this is a null. This is just shiny stones, basically. This means nothing for the fight unless there's somebody able to get Rick in their universe. The Infinity Gauntlet means dick all in the fight. What they do obviously have is their elasticity and their super genius. Plus, I believe they have the ultimate nullifier. They have had that before, but they're just insanely intelligent. Smartest man in the multiverse. Then you have the Council of Ricks. Now, the Council of Ricks is a little different because it's only like 7 Ricks. It's the Citadel Ricks is the majority of Ricks in the multiverse, or at least in the finite curve of the multiverse, which I'll bring that up because I think that's going to be a very key point in my discussion. And I mean, they're not like the 7 smartest Ricks. Our Rick, the Rick we've followed the whole time, is the smartest, pretty much the Rickiest Rick there is. Save for maybe Rick Prime, who is arguably smarter than them, and arguably Evil Morty. But even then, Evil Morty and Rick can do things Evil Morty can't do. Like when they had to work together to recreate their portal guns when fighting Rick Prime. But more to the point is that they're still all Ricks. They're still insanely intelligent. They're just not our Rick. And there's a lot less of them versus, say, a Council of Reeds. Now, what they do make up for that, though, is like with most Ricks, we don't see everything they have to muster or had to muster. There is no longer a Council of Ricks. While we do see, our Rick is heavily cybernetically enhanced. Now, that does not mean all of these Ricks are, but it does imply that these Ricks do definitely have enhancements in them, most likely, and they're probably already armed. Like, most Ricks carry weaponry on them, including their portal guns, which, on their own, are very versatile. They're very versatile, weapons. Now, the thing that you can definitely go to use against the Council of Ricks, though, is the fact that Council of Ricks has been completely annihilated but they were annihilated by one of their own. They weren't annihilated by even Evil Morty didn't annihilate the Council of Ricks. He brought down the Citadel, which is arguably more impressive, and then he killed like the round table of Ricks he had around when he became president. But still, it took one of their own or an equivalent on the other side of the fence with an Evil Morty to bring them down. The question simply comes down to, is Reed smarter than Rick, or are the Ricks smarter than the Reeds? And I think it all comes down to, and this is really just, it's kind of a battle of intelligence, but that's the thing, it's a battle of intelligence. While Reed is naturally more physically capable than Rick has technology that could easily just mess with Reed's elasticity. So that's kind of null and void, his elasticity. So it's about who's smarter than the other, who can outsmart the other. And here's the thing. While there's their Council of Reeds is much, much larger and capable of many different things, they've never literally bent the multiverse to their will in the same way that the Ricks have. The Ricks literally, in an infinite multiverse, created a central finite curve to separate them from the rest of the multiverse. While the Council of Reeds and their portal gun just allows them instant travel throughout the entirety of all dimensions ever, period, and the story. While the Council of Reeds are extremely intelligent, they're smaller guys in the multiverse, and they kind of have bent the multiverse to their own wills before. They've never truly tamed the multiverse. They don't have the multiverse under their thumb all the time. They gather together when there are threats so big. Also sometimes called the Congress of Reeds too, by the way. The Interdimensional Council of Ricks or Reeds. I'm obviously getting this up now so I can just let's see. So I'm gonna look at some of their equipment real quick. Council badges. This mean they don't have to abandon it. Yeah, this means nothing here. Colors. These special colors destroy the intelligence of Dr. Doom. They kept these Dooms in the hole below the main council chamber. Well, that's effed up. They all have Infinity Gauntlets, or 3 of the founders have Infinity Gauntlets. Okay. And then weapons, Souls, Anvil, Universal Entropy guns, a large number of ultimate nullifiers. That right there is a problem for the Council of Ricks, is the level of weaponry they have. While the Ricks are more regularly armed, the stuff these guys can freaking throw at the Ricks is insanely impressive. Again, multiple ultimate nullifiers, which literally erases, how is that put? It disassembles, if I remember correctly, it might be butchering the meaning of the ultimate nullifier, but it doesn't erase you from existence. It deconstructs the universe around you and reassembles it without you. So it's kind of inverse erasing you from existence. But then there's also these collars they have to, erase intelligence, which I did not know anything about that. So while I ultimately think the feat of separating the multiverse is a better feat for the Council of Ricks, the sad truth here is ultimately that the Council of Ricks is only 7 individuals, whereas the Interdimensional Council of Reeds is much larger. If I just look at the image, not that I have on the screen, but that I found here that's a much larger image, I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm seeing about 20 some odd Reeds minimum, which means that's probably a small number compared to how many there actually are. So they pretty much outnumber the Ricks, a minimum, probably 5 to 1. And they literally have an ability to short out their intelligence. So while I was leaning towards the Ricks initially because of the multiverse, again, separating out an infinite multiverse is no small feat. And it's not something we've actually seen the Reeds really do. Not to say that they maybe couldn't, they just never had a reason to do it. But because of the Ricks, if they were trying to storm the Council of Reeds, would probably take down a good portion of them. The amount of weaponry that the Council of Reeds actually have on call, and just the sheer power of them, and then you factor in they're still more physically able than Ricks, and have the colors to dumb them down. Ultimately, the Ricks are all guys in their 60s to 70s, whereas the Reeds are all, throughout the multiverse, and guys usually depicted in there somewhere in their 40s. It would probably go to the Council of Reeds. Add on to the fact if they were to pull the Ricks into any one of the 3 founding members' universes, then their Infinity Gauntlet out of existence. So while I was kind of leaning towards the Ricks at first, and I definitely think there's avenues for the Ricks to win just because of sheer audacity, ability, and tenacity, I think the Council of Reeds has a much greater chance of winning that encounter overall. That is, though, just my opinion. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Later.